Hi, I'm Laura, fertility coach and holistic therapist, founder of Fertility Avenue, providing emotional, physical, and well-being support to women who are having a difficult fertility journey. Welcome to today's episode, where we're diving into a topic that so many of my clients are really curious about: reflexology, and how it can support fertility in a natural, holistic way. Today, I'm joined by a lovely guest and expert in this space, Charlotte Bentley, a reflexology who has and specializes in lots of fertility clients, who has helped countless individuals and couples reconnect with their bodies and their fertility. It really is such a powerful therapy. So let's start with the basics for listeners who might not be familiar. So first of all, a huge welcome, Charlotte, for coming on today's podcast.
Hello, thank you so much for having me. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. Right. So if you're happy, Charlotte, can we kickstart today's recording with you explaining what reflexology is and how it works, especially in relation to fertility?
Yeah, sure. So basically, reflexology, for anyone having reflexology, all it feels like to you is a massage on the feet.
Oh, gorgeous.
It's a really relaxing, therapeutic, really lovely treatment to have, whether it's for fertility or any ailments that anyone might have. It's a technique where I apply pressure to a gentle pressure to reflex areas on the feet or the hands to bring about a state of deep relaxation and to stimulate the body's own healing process.
Oh, brilliant. So it's different parts of the feet or the hands relate to different parts of the body?
Yeah, so all your nerve endings end in your feet.
Right.
So I can, as a reflexologist, I know exactly where every organ is, and I work all your systems as well. So I work the reproductive system, the endocrine system, your nervous system, lymphatic system, and so on.
So the
So
hormones and the stress-related zones as well get dealt
exactly.
with.
A lot of people ask me what's the difference between, if I have a massage or a reflexology. A massage is amazing, and
Mhm.
I love a massage, and you're obviously getting some stress out there and knots. But reflexology is working all your systems, and I can feel every different organ and help. Your body basically works like a river, and
Absolutely.
reflexology helps your body flow like a
Right.
river.
So
If
it
there's
basically brings the body to balance, stops if there are any blocks, and
Yes,
where the water wouldn't flow or the right energy wouldn't flow, you make sure that the body is then brought back into balance, as well as
yeah,
supporting hormone regulation, improving, I guess, circulation, all
exactly.
and reducing stress as well, which are all
Yeah.
really vital for fertility.
Do you know what? I just think stress is like a
Mhm.
key factor, and reflexology helps stress so much.
Absolutely. And it's amazing how connected everything is.
Yeah.
And in the coaching that I provide, we're always talking about how lifestyle and emotional health impacts fertility. So I love
Mm.
that reflexology also taps into the physical and the energetic side.
Yes, exactly. And it's just most people, people that come to me for anything, it's a lot with the adrenal glands.
Yes.
And what if someone is going through a fertility journey, stress is a big factor because stress can also interfere with your hormones, can interfere with your
Yeah.
periods.
Yeah.
So it's a vicious circle. So hopefully reflexology can help calm all of that.
Absolutely, and improve things like ovulation,
Yes.
the egg quality, everything. Just it's all
Yeah.
connected, isn't it? The mind, body, everything is just so interrelated that
Yeah.
and also I guess it's like a really useful way of helping the body remember how to function, in balance.
Yeah, no, exactly. And I help lots of people, for on their fertility journey, if they come to me, whether they're having IVF or if they're having if they're just starting to try. I mean, I've got some clients that come to me a year before they actually want to start
Right.
trying. A
Okay.
lot
And
of girls with
I was
PCOS.
going to, actually, no, I was actually just going to say to you, what are the most
Yeah.
common challenges in relation to fertility? And is PCOS one of them?
Well, I would say definitely say PCOS, endometriosis,
Endometriosis. Yeah.
and yeah, people that are having miscarriages and they're not sure why. This, reflexology can just help. So for clients that are coming to me sort of a year before, they're just helping to so a lot of girls are on the pill for a long time,
Yes. Yeah.
so they come off the pill, they don't know where they are, and reflexology can help to start to regulate their
Ah,
periods,
brilliant.
which is obviously because if you then have regular periods, then you can then hopefully know when you're
So
ovulating
you
through
can't, yeah, you
different
can then
signs.
track. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And also inflammation, I guess it helps to sort of bring down inflammation levels and pain relief. So
yeah,
it's not just about waiting until perhaps hopefully one doesn't, but have difficulties. It's about that important preparation, a good year
yeah.
if we can, before even trying to conceive, to make sure that the body is in the best physical place.
Exactly. Yeah. And look, the thing is, a lot of people don't really know about reflexology until they're trying and
Yeah.
nothing's happening. And then people look into things and they see that reflexology, acupuncture, like so many things can help along the way. So I do see people when they're starting to notice that nothing's happening.
Mm.
But with my clients that I've seen sort of a year before, we've had great results, which has been
Amazing.
amazing. Yeah.
Amazing. And it's such an important part of bringing that body back into balance. And then again, the emotional support and looking after their diet,
Yeah.
cutting out minimizing the inhalation of chemicals and preservatives. So
Yeah.
it's just all part of the bigger picture, isn't it?
Yeah, no, exactly. And just by taking the stress out their lives, which
Yeah.
is I know a lot of people have stressful lives at the moment, it does give someone an hour out of the modern day world
Well, yeah.
to just relax.
Yes.
And and they're relaxing, and then I'm doing my bit
Yeah.
by linking up their whole reproductive system.
Amazing.
um,
Are
and
you able to talk a little bit more about how stress can affect fertility, and then how obviously with the reflexology, it can help presumably stimulate the vagus nerve through the different foot points and things like that? Are you able to, just, our listeners might not appreciate the how stress is so key in
yeah,
getting that
well,
reduced.
if we're stressed, obviously your cortisol levels go up.
Hmm.
And by myself doing the reflexology, I can sedate the adrenal glands. So when I do reflexology, I do a whole pattern of the whole body,
Hmm.
but I specifically will do a link with your pituitary gland. So that's your main gland in your brain controlling your hormones, and your ovaries, your uterus. I do a link with those three and I stimulate the pituitary gland. I also can clear the fallopian tubes by
Wow.
reflexology.
Wow.
So it's a really good basic to start off with before anyone starts if they need to start looking into other things if they're having issues with falling pregnant.
Unbelievable. And you get good results.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
have been getting really lovely results, which is really
I've,
rewarding. And
I've
I,
seen
I
that.
love my Instagram with I ended up seeing so many of my clients with their families of 4 or 5. And, there's so many clients that I see literally not knowing if they're ever going to be able to have children. And it's just so wonderful to
So
see the
rewarding, isn't
result.
it?
Really
Yeah.
rewarding.
And
Yeah.
and sometimes it's, I'm not saying reflexology is simple and quick and easy, but sometimes a block can just be the something that's causing
Yeah.
them that infertility. And actually, before going through the whole emotional roller coaster of assisted treatment and the expense and everything else with it,
Yeah.
sometimes it's well, not sometimes, it's always good to look at the holistic treatments
Absolutely.
that you can put in place, whether that be reflexology and or acupuncture and or hypnotherapy like I offer, or EFT. They all work synergistically together.
Yeah.
And
Exactly. And it's just so wonderful also. Not that I want anyone to be struggling, but there's some people they've been trying for 7, 8 months and then they come and have reflexology and they've fallen pregnant that month. And it just
Yes.
feels so amazing
Yeah.
that I've helped them.
You've just
Yeah, maybe
turned,
they
yeah,
just
you
needed
needed
the
some
fallopian tubes
tube.
to unblock or to stimulate the pituitary gland or the ovaries.
Absolutely. And it could be just something quite simple that you've just literally turned on or turned off, whatever way you want to look at it,
Yeah,
that's given the right pathway for them to be able to fall pregnant.
yeah,
Wow.
exactly.
That's
So,
beautiful stories, and I do see a lot of your success stories on Instagram, and it's great. And I know that we share a few clients as well who are having your support with the reflexology and my support
yeah,
with the emotional side, and
yeah,
it's so great that we can sort of link together and
yeah.
help our clients.
Very
So,
rewarding. It's
oh yeah,
really lovely.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And I think that balance is the key as well.
yeah.
Being able to balance your hormones, balance the cortisol levels. And some people literally I had a message the other day of someone saying, I literally floated all the way home
Yeah,
because
it's like
it's
being a
just,
weight being lifted, isn't it? It's literally
yeah,
a weight being lifted, and
exactly.
then just everything else falls into place. And as you say, they floated all the way home. That was incredible. Wow, that's a great analogy.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's really great, for someone to feel relaxed, I think it's funny because a lot of people say they feel pregnant on a holiday. Is that because they're
Mm,
relaxed? And reflexology obviously does relax you. So,
absolutely. Again, it's that whole mind body working together in harmony. We say lots of things that happen in our brain and our mind affect the way we feel and behave, and that stress level. So
mm,
it's really important to do everything we can
yeah,
to have the to be relaxed.
yeah,
And I know you touched on it a little bit earlier, but we talked a little bit about the good way of preparing before even trying, but
yeah,
also reflexology can be used alongside when you're having the assisted treatment. It's safe to use.
yes.
So, for example, if someone was having IUI or IVF or any other type of assisted treatment, so are
Mm.
you able to talk a little bit about how that helps, if there's anything else?
Yeah, so if I'm seeing someone who's trying to fall pregnant naturally, I normally see them twice before they ovulate. But if I'm seeing someone who's having IVF or IUI, being an experienced reflexologist, it doesn't interfere with the hormone treatment of someone having IVF. And I'd say regular treatment is needed to help the person relax and feel
Yeah.
positive.
Are we talking about once a week would be ideal if possible?
If possible, yes. Once
Yes.
a week is great because,
Yeah.
you're just putting everything into this treatment.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
And when you're having IVF, do you help the different stages of the treatment? So, the stimulation stage and the egg
yeah,
retrieval, all the
yeah.
different yes.
So,
So,
yeah, so I see people during like before their egg collection. I just always say to people that I just can't see them the 24 hours from when they do the trigger after that for 24 hours, but then afterwards they can carry on having it. And
right.
then I see them within a couple of days before their
The
transfer as
transfer.
well.
Right.
And then
Okay.
after the transfer, I don't see them because I just like nature to take its course and hopefully and good outcome.
Yeah. What's the reason why you can't see them after the trigger?
The trigger, just because you just don't want to interfere with that trigger injection
Right.
for about
So,
24
yeah,
hours.
yeah. You want them to have just be completely natural in their own body and just let nature take its
Yeah,
course.
exactly.
So,
And reflexology just helps put the body into a prime condition
mhm,
to receive the fertilized egg.
amazing, amazing. Oh,
Yeah.
please God. And then you can carry on seeing them after that. You can see
Yeah.
them in the 2 week wait?
No, I don't see
No,
them in the
in
2 week
2 week
wait.
wait.
No,
No.
let nature take its course.
Yeah,
And then hopefully, if there's a positive, then ideally, like I don't see people in the first trimester, but
right,
then, but if there are symptoms that they really can't tolerate, then I can help with that. And I
right.
just don't touch their reproductive system.
Okay. So is there anything that the clients can do safely on themselves in between sessions with you? Is there anything that they
Yeah, there's something I show my clients when they can do with their hands because the nerve endings end in your hands and your feet.
hmm
And I would say the main thing is your solar plexus,
Yeah,
which is on your hands, and there's something I can show them, and deep breaths. And other things that I can show them with their hands if they're feeling a bit nauseous and
Right.
so on. Yeah.
Amazing. So great.
It's
So
great
we
because I was gonna say you can have a lot of, there's home techniques you can do.
do on yourself when you're feeling
Yeah.
in that moment of maybe a little bit of stress and etc. So that's great. Um, have you got any? Obviously, we can't mention names here, but
Mm.
any beautiful client stories of what's your have you had people trying for many
Um,
years or
one of
how?
Sorry, I was going to say, like, one of my favorites was actually when I was training.
Hmm.
I had to do 100 case studies, and one of my clients I was seeing, I actually saw her, had to see her 4 times, and she had a 5-year-old, and she had been trying for 3 years to get pregnant, and she was about to start IVF, and I saw her every week for 4 weeks, and she
Right.
fell pregnant that month. And
Naturally.
naturally, yeah.
Oh
And it was
my
just like,
gosh.
wow, oh my
Oh,
God.
oh,
And then
shivers down
another,
my spine.
I know, and then another lady, during the time when we were all coming out of COVID, I saw her once, and she'd been trying for about 7, 8 months. This is for her first, and nothing was happening. And then she called me to say, "Oh, I can't have my second treatment because my husband's got COVID." So we had to leave it. But she fell pregnant that month, and I'd seen her once. So, and then she
Amazing.
recommended me to all her friends, which was really lovely.
That's the key, isn't it? It's getting those
Yeah.
success stories, and then that's it. We're flying. Oh wow, that's
Yeah, and
incredible.
there's been many others, but yeah, those are the two that have literally come straight to my mind on this podcast.
Lovely. I just love the way we're just able to do so much with our body without necessarily putting chemicals in there and just sort of
Yeah,
supporting it, just to bring that.
yeah, I think that's what people love about it, that you
Yeah.
can just have, it's a win-win situation, I think, because you're having a lovely relaxing treatment,
Hmm.
and you're doing so much good for your body at the same time.
Absolutely. Do a lot of your clients fall asleep?
Quite a lot do. I've got some clients that like to talk all the way through.
Yeah, yeah. It's almost like
um,
a therapy session at the same time, isn't
yeah,
it?
a hundred
Sometimes.
percent.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not just working on the feet, but it's getting them. But
yeah,
they like to offload because
yeah.
you are their therapist on the feet, but equally
Yes,
you're someone they can talk to in confidence, and they know that it's safe with you.
exactly. Exactly. And I always say to my clients, however you want to relax, if you want to talk, if you want to close your eyes and
Hmm.
just drift off, I've got lovely music on in the background. However they feel they're relaxing is fine with me.
Amazing. So if there's anyone listening out here who may be struggling or feeling stuck or unsure if reflexology is suitable for them, what's one piece or the best piece of advice you would give them?
I just think definitely give time for yourself.
Yeah.
Just give anything a try. Obviously, things are expensive, and I completely understand that.
Mhm.
But if you can, you know what, might just take one session. You never
Yes.
know. But I'm
Yeah.
not saying that is, because a lot of people, it can take a lot of time. But I would, your nutrition, I would exercise, but only low impact
Yeah.
exercise,
Yeah.
and just be good to yourself, and just don't try not to stress. And I know that's so much easier said than done, but reflexology can help take that stress
Absolutely.
away from you.
Or or if you are stressed, which as we say, it's really it's knowing how to calm yourself down quickly when you're feeling stress.
Yes.
And as you say, reflexology or just learning how to breathe, and just maybe that little massage on the hands just to calm their nervous system down.
Yeah, and just also, I know there's so much on social media about it, but you're not the only one, and
No.
people do get there. I've had so many clients in tears, thinking it's not going to happen, and they've had a beautiful baby,
Mhm.
and results can happen. And I'm not saying that reflexology is some magic cure, but it can definitely help, and I love to help people.
100%. That's been really insightful and such a supportive conversation. And I hope that the
Oh,
listeners out here will, resonate with what you're saying and give it a go.
yeah.
So, if they want to connect with you and book a session, what's the best way for them to find you and reach out to you?
I would say the best way is to find my Instagram, which is Reflexology by Charlotte. I think you might probably doing a link with that. That would be the best way to find me, or through my Instagram.
Okay, and you're obviously local to Northwest London area for
Northwest
anyone who does.
London. Yeah, and I also have a room that I rent in Wimpole Street as well.
Right.
I've got a few connections with some fertility clinics anyway. So yeah, but I go to people's houses in Northwest London. Otherwise, I can see people in the centre of London too.
So mobile and stationed at places. That's incredible. Oh,
Yeah,
thank you
it's
so
been.
much, Charlotte. That's
You're very
really
welcome.
been amazing. And just to finalize to our listeners, whether you're just exploring holistic support or looking to deepen your current plan, reflexology and fertility coaching are really a powerful team. As Charlotte and I have
Yes,
experienced together. And I think I can safely say we're both here to walk alongside you. So,
absolutely.
we are your guide by your side in different ways. So, if you would like the reflexology support or the emotional support that I offer, please also do reach out to me at www.fertilityavenue.co.uk or in my Instagram as well, fertility.avenue. But in the meantime, as always, until the next episode, please do take care of yourself and gift yourself that love and attention that you so deserve and need. And all the best. And thank you very much for listening. And thank you, Charlotte, for joining me on the podcast.
Thank you very much for having me.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.